Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. I apologize so much. I know it's been so long since I've done a Divine Feminine or Divine Masculine video. Most of you know I got bronchitis, but before I had bronchitis, I had a sinus infection. So I was sick for like a week and a half to 2 weeks. And then I had an event in February. So I've just been very behind and all over the place, really, energetically. So I've just taken this time to rest, relax, reset, refocus, regroup. Also, Mercury retrograde was messing with me too. So yeah, just a lot of downloads, a lot of tower moments. But all of it was beautiful. So thank you all for being patient with me. Since it has been a while, I'm actually going to switch up the days I post videos, so hopefully I can stay to schedule. But I am going to start posting the Divine Feminine videos on Monday, and the Divine Masculine videos will still remain on Tuesday. I just kind of like it a little bit better, and I feel like on Fridays people just aren't as attentive. So I felt like for me, it was kind of also a way to align the feminine energy more along with the moon rather than Venus, because obviously that is the one that closely affects us. But yeah, this is a Divine Feminine reading for March 9th through the 16th. So, obstacles with you guys' weekly lesson. We have the Four of Cups. So the Four of Cups is all about contemplation, introspection. Mercury retrograde ends month, so this is still that lingering energy that we've been in. Just a lot of kind of like reviewing what went wrong in our lives, where we should have acted differently, how can we, if faced with this lesson again, how can we react in a different way? How can we learn our lesson in a positive way for our highest and best good? So it's just a lot of introspection, a lot of going within, a lot of meditation, a lot of rest, which is necessary at this time. Also, I just wanted to point out the fact he is dressed in red, pressed up against a tree. So if you have not taken time out to ground during this retrograde season, continue to do so, or please do so. Grounding can look like taking a bath, literally sitting on a tree, back against a tree, not on a tree, unless that applies. Sitting in some grass, reading a book, that's always really grounding for me. Drinking lots of water, eating leafy greens, whatever your grounding routine looks like for you. Just do some more of that before this retrograde period ends. So obstacles with this lesson. We have the Four of Swords. So another four here. And then the Queen of Swords. So with the Four of Swords, once again, putting to rest introspection. But I feel that this Four of Swords is more putting to rest what no longer serves you. Yeah, pretty much simple. Putting to rest the thought processes, the way that you used to respond to certain situations, scenarios, or things, or people, putting those remarks to rest, putting the, snide comments to rest, putting to rest maybe facetious behaviors, putting to rest maybe self-limiting or self-doubtful beliefs. Maybe you're putting to rest negative self-talk. Maybe it's something bigger and just like really straight to the root of why you've been responsive the way you have throughout your whole life. Putting to rest self-limiting beliefs, maybe negative self-talk. Maybe you're putting to rest just thought patterns and belief systems or paradigm shifts that no longer serve you for your highest and best good anymore. With this, see that she's cutting it out. She's cutting out everything that no longer serves her anymore. And that is really what the Divine Feminine is experiencing. Cutting out everything that no longer can come with us where we're headed. When we're dealing with ascension processes, and Mercury retrograde is always a very, dramatic ascension time for a lot of people. I feel like I personally deal with a lot of realizations during Mercury retrograde. So I feel like it's just a very kind of like fast paced, but then again, it's not fast paced because it's like it lasts for a minute, but it's like almost kind of what's being presented to us during Mercury retrograde. If we take the time to really sit with it, like this Four of Cups energy, if we take the time to really sit with the lessons of Mercury retrograde, the things that arise within ourselves is just astonishing, really. It's just, wow, I can't believe I used to talk to myself like that. Wow, I can't believe I used to think that that was okay. Wow, I can't believe I used to tolerate that much disrespect. Wow, I can't believe that I settled for that deal. Wow, I can't believe, I allowed people to talk to me in such a belittling way. I can't believe I allowed people so much access to me. It's all of these kind of realizations that stir up within us during Mercury retrograde periods. So that's kind of what is being put to rest. Whatever you're realizing during this season, that's where the Queen of Swords is coming in to cut it out and just be done with it. Which is beautiful energy, because that's what we need. We need to continuously grow. And sometimes that growth can be a prolonged period of time. And sometimes it's like a lightning bolt and hits us very quickly. Sometimes it's like very subtle. So however this may have come to you, but I have a feeling that this energy has been kind of subtle. Just because of the Four energy, I feel like these are almost like calm rest periods, calm introspection periods. But the Queen of Swords is like, okay, now that realization is there, and now we have to take action and cut this shit out. So how to face this challenge? We have the Five of Swords. Yes, Five of Swords, sorry. And then we have the Ten of Swords. So how to face this challenge is going to be being honest with yourself. Being true to yourself, not lying to yourself about how hurt you have been in the past, what you have tolerated in the past. Because this Ten of Swords is straight defeat. Like, homie's dead. So, like, this is pure betrayal and hurt and depression and just feeling like utter death. Like, wow. Just the lowest of the low. Like, this is probably like one of the lowest cards you can get. Energetically, at least. It's just utter defeat, really. So this Five of Swords is telling you to not lie about how bad this hurt. This realization during this Mercury retrograde period might have been gentle, might have came to you in dreams or visions or meditations very softly. But the truth of the matter is, this shit hurt. Whatever this realization or epiphany has been for you during this season, or this upcoming week until Mercury retrograde is finished, has hurt you. It has hurt you. And I feel this because I'm undergoing this, of course. Like I said, my Divine Feminine readings always relate to my personal experience as well. So this hurt. It hurt. And we cannot deny ourselves of how much hurt we allowed in the past, how much hurt we tolerated from people that we thought loved us. We can't deny or lie to ourselves anymore about how wrong we were about things that we used to do in the past, or things that we used to tolerate in the past, However this looks for you, we cannot be in denial, because this Five of Swords card in this reading is really about self-denial. We deny ourselves the ultimate truth of the reality of what was revealed in order to protect ourselves. The brain does not want to take us on this little trail that's like, hey, you fucked up. You were wrong. Because that truth is hurtful to our egos, Nobody wants to admit that they're wrong. But it's okay. You were wrong. I was wrong. I was wrong. In my whole journey, I realized today that I was wrong for a really, really big tower moment. So understanding that you were wrong is okay. It doesn't mean that you have to beat yourself up more for it, because you've already done it in the past. You've done enough damage to yourself. Now it's about forgiving yourself and setting yourself free of this energy. So how to work through this lesson is to be very, very honest with yourself. If you cannot be honest with yourself, then who can you be honest with? Yeah, you might judge yourself for it, and that's okay, because that's valid. That is very valid. But you cannot deny yourself of this pain and say that it wasn't that bad, how they treated me wasn't that bad, that situation wasn't that bad, it could have been worse. Yeah, it probably could have, but it was as worse as it was for you to deal with. You know, yes, other people have had it hard. Yes, other people may have gone through the same kind of scenarios that you have, but that you're on your journey. This hurt you the way it hurt you, and that is valid. Just because maybe you know somebody that has been through another experience that's similar to yours or whatever have you, like maybe theirs was worse than yours, it does not make your experience in this realization any less valid to you and your journey. So the outcome with this lesson, we have the Eight of Swords and the Ace of Wands. And I did also pull some crystal cards, and we'll get into that in a second. After we deal with this energy of being honest with ourselves about how hurt we've allowed ourselves to be in the past by ourselves or maybe by others, we start to entrap ourselves in our minds. Like, wow, I was so stupid to have believed that that was okay. Wow, I was so stupid to have allowed people to treat me like that. And it's just all these self realizations of what you could have done, you should have done, if you could rewind time, what you would have done differently. But the fact of the matter is you can't. You just can't. And that's reality. You can't turn back time and fix it. All you can do when we talk about time travel, pour back love into that experience. That is how we time travel, and that is how we affect the energies that are standing right in front of us present today. In the mirror, when you look at the mirror, it affects that. So by doing that, and by releasing yourself of that binding spell, because words are binding, words cut deep. So if you're talking about yourself in a negative fashion, like, wow, I was so dumb, I wish I would have done this differently, I wish I would have known better, I wish I wasn't as naive as I was, whatever, you have to just release it. And you're the only person that can do this. This is not a journey that can be, taken with another person. This is your journey for you. So now with this Ace of Wands, Spirit is gifting you this wand. And it's really fucking crazy that this card came out, because when I was going through this whole period today, and it's been uncovering, throughout my dream realm as I've been sick, my dreams have been very fucking vivid about things in my past that I'm healing from. And, I've had to kill off aspects of myself. But literally I saw Spirit gift me a wand today, like before I recorded this video. When I was dealing with my tower moment, which was total upheaval, but it's so gorgeous. And this Ace of Wands is that spark from the universe that's like, now we can fix it. Now we can do something differently. Now we can do better because we know better. And this is that spark to pour that love back into yourself, to pour that. And I don't know why they're giving me this imagery, maybe because of Oshun, no idea, but I'm just getting it. Pouring honey into the cracks and crevices of where our heart's been broken, where we've broken our own hearts. And it really is just like this pouring out to sweeten everything, because we've already been there. We don't have to drag ourselves back into that turmoil. Now we know better, we can do better. And that's really what this Ace of Wands is here to say, is now you can pour that energy back into yourself, back into your past selves. Honey, pouring that honey into it, pouring that love into it. So I have the crystal cards because I want to keep going, but they pertain to the crystal cards, so I don't want to get off track. So we have Namite Healer, Dioptase, heart healing, Hematite grounding, which is one of my favorite crystals, and rose quartz, which I have been using a lot. So Namite Healer, heart healing, pouring that honey into those cracks and crevices of your past selves that didn't know better. This also pertains to the inner child as well. So it all honestly, all these cards kind of intertwined and blend, but it is taking that moment to put your feet on the ground, sit up in your chair. And you can repeat after me if you feel called to do so, or you can find your own words to help you heal this. But I mean, this is just kind of a guideline for those that don't have guidance or don't know how to do this kind of work on their own. And this is what I'm talking about, time traveling, energetically at least. You would call on your higher self. So I call on my higher self, my ancestors, my spirit guides, you know, whatever you work with, my angels. I call on you right now to spread love, to spread unconditional love and forgiveness across all areas of my life, across all timelines and dimensions where I did not know better, where I was naive, where I allowed people to treat me poorly, where I treated myself poorly. I ask that you now cover those cracks and crevices of my broken heart during all of those time periods with unconditional love and the sweetness of honey. I unconditionally love and forgive myself for all the mistakes I've made in the past. I unconditionally love myself for being strong enough to handle those situations on my own. I am proud of myself for handling those situations with as much grace and ease that was available to me at that time. I unconditionally love myself, and I am proud of myself for being strong enough to get us here today. I thank my higher self for pulling us through. I thank my higher self for pulling us through all of those trials and tribulations to bring us right here, right now, in this present moment. I unconditionally love and forgive anyone in my past that has hurt me or caused me harm, intentionally or unintentionally, across all timelines and dimensions. I am here. I am safe. I am love. So that's something that's very simple, and obviously, if you want to add to that, feel free to. You know, that was just something that was kind of some of the things I said earlier to myself, some I just added because Spirit told me to. But when we do things like this, it's very grounding because it brings us back here. The beautiful thing about our past is that our past versions of ourselves have been so strong because we're still standing. We're still here, still pushing, still striving, still moving forward. And that's powerful. That's truly powerful. To know that every single version of yourself, from the moment you were born, and even before, because past life selves, of course, have all played a role into who you are right now in this present moment. And your future self, your higher self, is still building to move towards that goal and to continue to elevate you. Yes, there will be times where you hit the Ten of Swords energy again. Yes, there will be times where you fall, but that's life. It's about how you ride those waves throughout life, how you flow within those currents, how you release that worry, guilt, and shame. Releasing that guilt and shame about feeling like you should have done something differently. No, you weren't supposed to have. Because if you were supposed to have acted differently, you would have. You acted exactly how you were supposed to, and that's okay. That's nothing to feel guilty for. That's nothing to be ashamed of. That's nothing to continue to beat yourself up over. That's when you continue to just pour love into yourself. Because yeah, it's hard dealing with the reality of like, wow, I should have known better. But you didn't, and that's okay. Now you do. How will you continue to move forward now is the question. There's no need to continue to focus and dwell on the past. Learn your lesson. When the next lesson arrives, you'll know how to face it because you've already done it. You'll be fine the next time around. You might not even have to deal with the lesson the next time around because of you releasing it. You know, everybody's situation and story is different. Lessons repeat themselves so much because it's really digging out all of this energy. It's digging out all of that pain. Physically imagine removing every single one of these swords and how painful that would be and how that recovery would look. You know, obviously there's not recovery in the card, but you know, in a more metaphorical sense, you know, some of these wounds from our past behaviors or circumstances, whatever it was, they're deeply rooted in us. Hence the grounding. You know, this is root stuff, root chakra issue. So it's deep, it's programmed, inner child. This is a pattern. This is a programming we have to break. And Spirit has gifted us with the Ace of Wands to be able to break it. I'm being called to the quote in Maleficent, the second one. It was like, I can't remember exactly what the line was, but it was like, curses don't stop, they're broken. I think it was something along the lines of that. But curses are broken. You have the power to break it. And that's what the Ace of Wands is that power to release yourself from that curse, from that programming, from that belief, from that paradigm, from that belief system that no longer serves you. So yeah, this was a very powerful reading. So yeah, this was a very powerful reading. So, I mean, it's pretty, like, not much lightheartedness going on, but it is lightheartedness at the same time, because as heavy of a reading as this is, when you get to rebuild yourself through unconditional love and forgiveness, that's where the beauty is. And you just have to sit here in gratitude. Gratitude for every person that you've been. Gratitude for every trial and tribulation that got you to where you are right now. That's where the beauty is. And to sit here and thank every single lesson for what you've learned thus far. That is truly beautiful and that is powerful. So, I hope that my Divine Feminine have a gorgeous week ahead. Please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment, and turn your bell notifications on so you can get updated anytime I release a video. Later this week, I will be announcing my new price list. So if you have not had a chance to book with me yet, please do so. My 15 minutes are $11.11. My half hours are $22.22, and hours are $33.33. Like I said, they're going up Aries season, and I think Aries season, I want to say, starts on the 19th. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I already have my price list set for my newest ones. Also, first-time tarot clients do receive free 15-minute distance Reiki sessions from me. So be sure to email me or DM me on any of my social media platforms. It's all Cheyenne_Renee. My Facebook is Cheyenne Dolan. And my email is CheyenneXRenee@gmail.com. So, yeah, I just can't wait to connect with you all. And I hope you have a gorgeous healing week. And that you make it out of this week and Mercury retrograde very strong. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.